What's going on, fellow A-plussers? It's your boy, as always, Adam Perez, back once again with a brand new episode for you guys today. As today, we are going to get into our Power Ranger bag, ladies and gentlemen. We got some Cosmic Fury discussion, some speculation for you guys today as we continue to wind down, if you will, from Power Morphicon last week. I know Power Ranger fans, Ranger Nation still wants more details, trying to get any little bit of information when it comes to Cosmic Fury as they possibly can. So we're definitely going to be talking about it, giving us our thoughts in regards to the upcoming 30th anniversary season of Power Rangers. But today, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just my handsome face that you got to sit back and relax and watch talk about Cosmic Fury. I've got another handsome face for you guys to certainly be introduced to today, as we're going to be bringing in good old Jin Saku. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man. Our fellow Twitter Power Ranger rumor leaker. I don't know, what do you like to be called, Jinsaku?
You have a normal guy on Twitter.
I like it. I like it.
Me up for these scoops.
It's good to see you, man. Thank you so much for joining us here today, bro.
You're right. You are very handsome.
So are you, man. I try, just pay compliment where compliments deserve to be given. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, black don't crack, man.
That's what I'm talking about. It's good to have you here, man. I know we tried to get you on last week's episode of A Plus Hero Report. We weren't able to. Kind of came down to a last minute thing, but I'm so glad you reached out to me because I've been really wanting to pick your brain, man, and just kind of talk to you, introduce you a little bit more to our viewers and things like that, so they can get to know you a little bit better. Did I lose you?
I'm down.
Okay, I was like, did I lose you for a second? Well, first off, let me ask you, Jin. Overall, how was your time at Power Morphicon, man? How'd you enjoy yourself?
Honestly, it was great, man. Like meeting a lot of Ranger fans and, meeting people that I talk to pretty much every day on Twitter. I feel like that was pretty much one of the highlights for me. And then hosting the panels and, going from Time Force to Turbo Panel, meeting the cast backstage, like all that crazy stuff. Like people coming up to me asking to take photos because they recognize me. I don't know. The whole thing was great. It was a great experience. And honestly, it turned out better than I thought it would. So I just want to say,
a year ago, would you have pictured yourself here?
What, at PMC?
Yeah, like getting opportunities and stuff like that.
No, honestly, because like literally, I think it was a year ago where I first, dived into Toku Twitter a little bit. Maybe it was 2 years ago, but it was I don't know. I didn't even know anyone. You know what I'm saying? I just logged on to see what was the latest leaks for Beast Morphers. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know anybody. I just logging on, seeing what's up with the show, leaving in and out. And then one day, I forgot what made me do it, but I trolled or something, made a tweet about Billy Yost coming back for freaking Beast Morphers, and then that tweet went viral. Then after that, I think it was my first troll tweet. I met a lot of people and stuff. So I don't know. That was pretty much my whole thing with this. But no, I never thought I'd be here right now, actually. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how things turned out.
Percentage of your tweets, how much would you say are trolling and how much would you say are legit tweets? You're a professional troller. I get it. It's a professional troller.
Let me think about this one. I would say probably a good 95% are trolls.
I love it.
5% is what I want to do today, Maybe 1% is accurate. Whatever.
You keep a lot. You keep a lot to your chest, huh? Keep a lot that inside.
I do now because I met more people and got more trouble. So now I kind of is forced to not say anything. But when I used to first start, I used to just say everything. And it got me. I got in trouble. I got yelled at. And it was my first time with a lot of information. So I was just good morning, Davey Yost. Good morning, Austin St. John and Walter Jones, and then this and that. And then everyone was dude. I'm all right, fine. So I had to troll a little bit and be here's Troy on Two Kaiser's body. You know what I'm saying? That's how I kind of got away from that. When it's well, if I do a good amount of trolling and still somewhat put out accurate, I won't get in trouble, and then I won't also get, ambushed a lot. So I don't know. I think I kind of found a good balance. I know I said 95%, but realistically, I think it's 50-50 for me.
I get you. I get you. Well, yeah, man. I've loved your tweets. I've loved hanging out with you and the rest of our group chat over on Twitter,
Yeah, definitely.
talking Power Ranger from time to time, man. So let's get into some Power Ranger talk here, bro. We got Cosmic Fury, just released
Oh
or
yeah,
just revealed to us this past weekend. It was revealed a little bit early than I think a lot of us certainly were expecting, especially before the
definitely.
panel that day. What was your reaction when you heard it?
So actually, fun fact, we're actually this was like during PMC, obviously. It was in Pasadena. We were like leaving the party, and I want to say it was probably about 8 p.m. for us or something like
Oh,
that, or
okay.
9 p.m. for us.
Hmm.
And it was like me, Estee, Austin, Chris, Miggy, a lot of us. We're just like walking around. And then Estee's like on his phone and he's like watching the video. And we're all just like, yeah, we're lit hanging out. And we're all just looking at Estee like, Estee, why are you like staring at your phone like that? And he was like, yo, dude, they just announced Cosmic Fairy. And then we were like, no way. And then we're all looking. And then like a bunch of other people came over and I was like, yo, Cosmic Fairy. And then it was next thing you know, it's like a group of people just outside at night just reacting to Cosmic Fury. And then we're all just like, you know what? Since we're already at the convention, we're just all in front of the convention making videos like, yo, look,
Nice.
first in line for Cosmic Fury, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. We were just like messing around, but like, was we really surprised?
Yeah, no, we definitely weren't.
were,
I
were
think
we
I
really
was.
surprised
Yeah, no, I think I was just more surprised as to the
when it
announcement
dropped?
coming out when it
Yeah,
dropped.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that
definitely.
definitely threw me off for sure. Because I was thinking to myself, oh, well, maybe this is part of the plan. And I was like, maybe they wanted to introduce Cosmic Fury and that information early. And then maybe the big
Yeah.
surprise at the panel would be the cast coming out in their costume or something like that, like they've done in previous Power Morphicons. Do you think it deflated the panel at all? Or do you think the panel itself still
So
worked the way it was supposed to?
So I mean, I do kind of know that the situation. I'm not going to dive too much into it because
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
cool.
know if we're allowed to say too much.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
whatever works for
do
you.
know that it kind of threw us like all for a loop because we all planned on doing something for Cosmic Fury.
Mm,
So like we expected it to hit that morning, and then we're all going to like do our own thing. Like I know for a fact, me and group of people were going to do a video. You know what I'm saying, for when it dropped because we had a specific time it was supposed to come out. But I know PMC. I don't even think they're even going to have a Cosmic Fury panel to begin with because I know, like, I think the panel was supposed to happen before Cosmic Fury announcement. So they're just going
oh,
to do,
okay.
probably. I mean, don't quote me on this because,
Yeah, yeah, I get you.
I hearing a lot of different things, but I think they're only supposed to do, Dino Fury. But then they announced it early, then it was like, whatever, free game, we can do whatever we want at this point. I think that's pretty much why they did the Cosmic Fury panel.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I could be wrong, but I do know that we expected it a much later time, and it kind of like threw a lot of people plans out the windows, and a lot of scrambling was
Yeah, I mean,
happening. So
even I was scrambling. I was like, "Oh my goodness, I gotta make some
I got to make
content
a
for this."
video
Yeah,
real
I gotta
quick
make a video. And then there
before
was
the
a
morning.
yeah, and then there was a part of me that was thinking, I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna let the day go by and I'm gonna do mine later in the evening. I was like, just in case if more information and more details wind up dropping throughout the day, I was like, I'm just gonna hold off on it. So for you viewers out there, if you haven't had the opportunity to check out my thoughts on Cosmic Fury, we did do a little bit of a PMC wrap up last week. It was me and my co-host Stuart. We did discuss the returning of the Dino Fury cast. So if you want to go ahead and check out that video, that is up on our YouTube channel. So definitely go ahead and check that out for yourself. But I definitely wanted to pick your brain, Jinsaku, because I know
Yeah.
you've been a huge proponent of Kira Major. You know, there's been a bunch of speculation of
Mm.
like what this season is certainly going to be. You've got some people that are like they're going to use the Kara Major stuff. Some people saying they're going to use Q Ranger stuff. Maybe it's just going to be all original suits, yada yada yada. Are you still leaning towards Kira Major? Because me and Stuart talked about it. He's leaning Q Ranger. And for
Mm.
me, I am kind of leaning Kara Major, but I'm pretty much open to whatever Hasbro decides to do.
I will say one thing that I had to learn was I had to separate what is reality versus what I really want. If you
Absolutely.
ask me what I really want, I would sit
Yeah,
here and just
which
do Care Major all
Kara
day. I
Major?
want Care Major. That's my season. You know what I'm saying? I was hyped for them. And if you tell me what's reality, I would say they're 90% probably on original. And Yeah, I know a lot of people want Key Ranger, Key Ranger, Tokuger, even Die Ranger, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's more of, I don't know. I think when it's like, as of right now, when it's your last season, it's kind of
Mhm.
hard to pick one season to adapt, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it's kind of hard to please everyone. So I think the best route to go is just do it yourself, go original.
Yeah.
And one thing you got to realize too is there's a reason we didn't get any footage. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get a clip trailer, we didn't get a Sentai trailer, nothing for PMC.
Nothing.
Just a title. And it's August. You know what I'm saying? If that
Yeah.
don't tell you, then you know what I'm saying? I don't know what will.
And that's an interesting point because Stuart brought that up too. He says, usually when we get introductions to brand new seasons, it's literally Sentai footage and stock footage combination in the trailer, right? With like an American voiceover, new Zords, new weapons, new power ups, that type of stuff. But this year, we didn't get anything. And I just think it's one of those things like if you are going to adapt an upcoming Super Sentai season, it don't take that much time to put together a small little trailer to showcase to people, especially the trails that we've seen in the past. So I do think that that does speak volumes that they didn't have anything prepared. And I think maybe
Right.
the reveal of Cosmic Fury maybe had some people thinking, and like me thinking, oh, maybe this was a last minute decision by them to go ahead and put this together. But the more and more that I read, I'm realizing that they kind of had game plans for this season like
Mhm.
last year. So if you already have that mentality of knowing where you're going for the 30th anniversary, you would think that they would have something. So I do think it is quite telling that we got no trailer and no footage of this season.
I will say though, they did throw a lot of us scoopers and leakers for a loop. They've been playing a lot of games, and like
Oh,
as one thing like where like as scoopers and leakers, one thing that we try to do is give you information, as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like we will hear something and we'll probably go through other sources, try to figure out how accurate this information is before we post it. And then when we do post it, we hope it comes out, it comes true. But then there's times where it's not always the case. Like, for example, we can take this probably back to, I want to say, when I first found out, maybe last October, where I was told with early leaks, I was straight up told that, you know, one new Ranger, four old Rangers. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what I thought in my head, one new Ranger, four old Rangers. The first thing that hit me was Zenkaiger. You got
hmm.
the blue Overdrive, pink Mystic Force, you know what I'm saying? You got yellow Wild Force, red Mighty Morphin, you know what I'm saying? That was what each season represented, and the counterpart with Zen Kaiser being the one new guy. So then when they broke that down to me, I was like, okay, we got one new original Ranger, and then we got four previous Rangers. At the time, I didn't know much else. I didn't know who those people was. Few months later down the road, that's when I got the confirmation that the four previous Rangers is actually going to be the Mighty Morphin Rangers.
Hmm.
And then the one new person will be quote unquote Yen,
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
and then that's when that was. Now, mind you, at the time, none of us knew what this was. We were just assumed the season 30, because that's all we was looking forward to. A few months go by more, we find out it's a 45-minute special. And then now we're like, okay, so if this is just a special, what season 30? You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And to put us back in the dark where we're like, well, damn, because we all this whole time we were thinking, okay, this is going to be something original because we had this Mighty Morphin cast coming back in the end. And then we were thinking, okay, now that this is just a 45-minute special, what if we're back to Sentai? What if Sentai is back on the table? And then once we got the confirmation that the Dino Fury cast was coming back, and then we're like, wait a minute. So does this, they're coming back with new powers, is what we were told. And that's where we thought, okay, Kier Major? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because personally, it's six Rangers. It makes the most sense. We knew it wouldn't be Zoolger only because you got to switch so much stuff around, so much colors,
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
and that. We just knew it just wasn't going to work. Q Ranger, too many Rangers, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And then Kier Major made the most sense. So this whole time, all we knew was the Dino Fairy cast is coming back with new powers. But we're trying to figure out what are these new powers. Everyone was saying, it got to be Kier Major. It makes the most sense. And then boom. So we're like riding this Kier Major hype all this time. And then literally, I want to say, I found out, like, I want to say the day the Cosmic Fury title drop, well, leaked.
Oh, yeah.
I I found out 2 days before that it was Cosmic Fairy. Like they showed me the page it was on and everything. But me personally, I didn't want to post it because someone else's name was attached to it, and I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
get that person in trouble or whatnot. But then 2 days later, it leaked anyways. They were smart enough to cover it, but then the fandom found the guy's name anyways and probably got him fired or whatever. But
They
at
got some
that time, when
sleuths,
I
man. Ranger Nation got sleuths.
no, yeah, they got some ninjas. They figure stuff out. I thought I was Detective Jinsaku. Holy shit, they're all detectives. But pretty much, I'm like, I had 2 days to figure out what it was. I heard Cosmic and thought, well, damn, could we go back to Q Ranger? Like, is that even possible?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then literally, I got more evidence, and then that there weren't going to be any extra Rangers. I kept being told it will only be the six Rangers with new powers. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, Care Major, Endgame, we're there.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward, it's original. So it's
It
a
kind
it's a weird roller coaster that you go through. And then as like a scooper leaker or whatever you want to call it, there's some times where you just have to like realize we're not supposed to know a lot of this information. So
right.
things change behind the scenes. So if we don't end up seeing, the Mighty Morphin cast, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. We weren't supposed to say it anyways. We weren't supposed to know about that even maybe being a possibility. And stuff like that always happens behind the scenes. And I think Austin St. John kind of like messed up and like revealed that it was an anniversary anyways. So
Oh
like
yeah.
whatever, 1 point for us. But like at the end of the day, it's like that's just one of the things you deal with. Things change behind the scenes and shit happens and you end up going from Jin Saku to Frost Saku. So
And
there's
that's one.
my origin
And
story.
and that's one of the things that I try and tell people all the time is like the information that we're hearing is really stuff that we're not even supposed to know. Like
Yeah.
those are like the behind the scenes ideas being thrown around, concepts, that they want to work out. And then some things in just real life, throw a wrench in it or something comes up and you got to change things kind of
Yeah.
last minute or come up with a different game plan sort of thing. So I always try and tell people like even you or even the Illuminati, while I definitely trust you guys, I always try and tell people, to still take it with a grain of salt. It is still kind of
Yeah.
to a certain extent rumors, just so that at the end of the day, if things do change, as fans, we're not butthurt for giving 100% of our
Yeah.
expectations in regards to this stuff. Um, so let me ask you, because you did mention your
Yeah.
sources, and I'm never going to ask you to reveal your sources, but do you have more than one source that you bounce ideas off of or you go back to?
Yeah. So honestly, when I started, I did have a few sources where I would like run things by just so I can clarify my news. Like
Which is
if like for
smart. Which is
example,
smart.
when I first heard about, the David Yost rumor, I went to multiple people. So in case one person tells me, "Oh, I didn't hear that. Oh, that's not true." I don't look dumb running the story or whatever. So like one thing I try to do is like try to get different people's opinions. I think now I kind of got to the point where I like kind of just built relationships, and I'm just
Mhm.
like naturally like friends with a few people. But yeah, at first though, I was just definitely running off the same three people or so, like trying to figure things out. So I mean, it's a lot easier now that I have like a network of people I can like talk to and like figure things out with. And I even have like people who has their own sources that I don't even know what their sources are, just so I can run by them. I have friends I can just run by, and I don't know, just make things a lot easier. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'm
Like,
sure it does.
definitely.
Um, when it comes to when you drop information like that, um, I guess the question that I have is, how does it? How do I put this question? Well, I'll hold off on that question for a second. I do want
Okay.
I do want to pick your brain about the MMPR reunion and the Yen
Yeah.
character. In your point of view, is that scrapped? Because I'm under the impression it's scrapped. That there's just way too much that's kind of changed
I feel like
behind
it's
the scenes.
scrapped. I do feel like it's scrapped only because the story they were going for don't really work with two people. You know what I'm saying? Like it was originally supposed to be the core four. You know what I'm saying? They help Yen out and then whatever. I'll probably explain the story or details later. I don't want to go too much in details
Yeah,
in
no,
case it
definitely.
happens and it gets ruined for you. But I mean, pretty much the main story was focused around, her and then the core four. And a lot of the emotion that the special or movie brought was that the connection the team had with Trini, you know what I'm saying? That helps sell the emotion. Where if you just randomly try to bring in that person like Rocky or Aisha or Adam, it wouldn't work because they honestly never met her. So if you need to sell the story you're trying to sell, you kind of need all the Rangers actors to be on board. And unfortunately, Austin St. John already yeah, I'm sorry, Austin St. John already in public said he was out. You know, he's not doing a project. JDF already said he's done. He's not working on it. And you know what I'm saying? That leaves two big people. And then on top of that, you know, Amy Jo Johnson, she's on Twitter saying, I'm not doing it or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? So when stuff like that happens, then it's kind of like, can you still do it? You know?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
terms of the Yen character, though, I mean, who knows? You know, they might use her some way in the future. But
Oh,
I
that'd be
do know
interesting.
that if you want the actual story they're going for, that the way it was originally supposed to come out, I don't think it will happen. Honestly,
Okay, I got you. I got you. Yeah, I was really looking forward to just that storyline in general, man. We were really promoting a lot of the idea of a 30th anniversary. First off, it felt like it was too good to be true for Power Ranger fans. Like they're just spoiling us now. 30th anniversary, we're getting a season. We were thinking we are getting ourselves an MMPR special. I mean, granted, we'll certainly see how everything plays out, but I'm really happy with what we are certainly getting. You know, even
and
though
the crazy part is we're supposed to get it. Like they were going to spoil us for
they
the
were, yeah,
30th.
it sounds like, yeah, it sounds like they had the plan certainly in
It just
place.
comes down to real life. Some people want this amount of money. Some people prefer union, non-union, or whatever that situation is. It's a lot of hurdles you kind of had to go around, and that's kind of unfortunate.
And the fact that they had a casting side out there just shows you like this was meant to happen, I think,
Yeah,
at
yeah,
some
it
point
was,
in
it was
time, right?
legit. It was a legit thing. Yeah, definitely.
Can we still expect you think David Yost to pop up here for this cameo? Because I feel like we probably still can. I feel like there's a place in Cosmic Fury here, especially for us going back out into space. One of the speculations me and Stuart has, what it would be fantastic if they went to freaking what is it? Aquatar and got a chance to finally meet him again.
Did you hear something? I don't know. I thought I
Didn't hear
heard
nothing.
something.
Didn't
I
hear
don't.
nothing.
Yeah. Next
We'll
question.
see. We'll see.
No, but all jokes aside, hey, season 30. You can see anyone. Whether it's David Yost or whether it's Silent Ward. Brent Mejia. Anyone can show up. I just think is really nice that the Down of Fury cast is getting in season 3 because
Absolutely,
we
bro.
know they filmed during COVID and not a lot of Ranger actors got to team up with them. Down of Fury never got that team up, so it's nice that this year around, since COVID's not that terrible out there, you can bring anyone you want back over. And, they don't even have to worry about quarantine and this and that. So I think
Yeah.
this time around it's nice. Anyone can show up and they can get that team up they finally,
And
really want.
we are going to be on Netflix. So
Yeah.
I'm personally really expecting a completely different formula for Cosmic Fury, certainly going forward. And speaking of Cosmic Fury, real quick before we get into Cosmic Fury, for those of you who don't know, Dino Fury Part 2 of Season 2 set to drop September 29th. Mark your calendars, get you a Netflix subscription if you don't already, and check the final half of Dino Fury. So yeah, that's before we get ourselves to Cosmic Fury. But what I want to do with you real quick, Jinsaku, I want to go over some tweets that good old Simon Bennett wind up posting over the past couple weeks, ever since we wind up getting some reveals. I got like 3 or 4 here that I found interesting that I just want us to kind of discuss a little bit. So let me go ahead and bring up the first one here. I can't remember exactly what the context is here, but let's see here. It says this is from Linkara. Well, this is unexpected, and no, I don't know what this all means for HOPR. This is uncharted territory for me. All previous seasons that followed on from previous one had been well out and seen by me long before I started doing HOPR. That meant I generally knew where character arcs were going, keeping Rangers for a theme change without me knowing what's going to happen afterwards. Also, no spoilers, of course, because I still haven't seen Dino Fury, as I've said before. And Simon Bennett replies, if it helps, I think they'll feel like quite different shows. Stories and character arcs conclude at the end of Dino Fury because it was written and made as a standalone season. Cosmic Fury presents the characters with whole new challenges in a very different environment. And I thought that was actually pretty telling here. So it feels very much like Dino Fury is its own standalone season. I don't know if there's going to be an open ending to it, maybe like a post-credit scene. I have no idea for Dino Fury to maybe lead into it, but it feels overall that maybe a majority of the stories might be wrapped up, whereas Cosmic Fury, as he says, presents characters with all new challenges in a very sort of different environment. Is that kind of what you're expecting too?
Um, yeah. So I kind of got spoiled. I'm not gonna act like I don't
Oh,
know.
okay, yeah, man,
I'm not
okay.
gonna act like I don't know what's gonna happen, but I will say it kind of takes the same approach that Beast Morphers took, where they kind of wrapped all the stories up, but still left an open ending, kind of
Okay.
towards the end. You know, at the end of
I see
Beast
that.
Morphers, you had Devin become commander.
It's
You
like a
know,
flash forward
Danielle's
almost.
yeah, you had Steel become human Steel. Then it's like open to what the future can be if they wanted to do a season three, you know. And Dino Fury does the same exact thing actually, almost beat for beat, where you get the time jump and then you see, you know, what these people are up to and what's new with them and what changed and Zato kind of maybe you get some little, new swagger or whatnot, the white knight or whatever you want to call it. And then yeah, and that leads up to an open possibility. It's not necessarily like I want to say a tease to like ring on the new season because like Simon said before, they didn't know they were doing the season three when that ended. It just kind of ended on anything can happen in the future type of thing. I mean, honestly, you can probably say the same thing for season one. You know, Dino
Yeah.
Fury, they swore they defeated Void Knight, and then the Morphin Master gave them their powers back, and then anything was possible at that point, right?
Yeah, and
Where
okay.
no, yeah, definitely go ahead for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, and even at the end of Dino Fury season one, it still felt open ended, right? Because we
Yeah,
see like the Rangers posing, getting ready to get right back into another battle, sort of thing. So we definitely knew something more was definitely coming. So I can see that. I can kind of see how Beast Morphers season two ended. It would
yeah,
be really cool for like a post credit or flash forward to kind of see something happen like that in Dino Fury. And even Simon Bennett winds up even replying later on that it's its own thing, unlike anything else. And I feel like
yeah.
his comment here, combined with the great interview that Joe wind up doing with Kai and Jordan, and them talking
Mhm.
about it being brand new, it being unique in its own sense. Here, having Simon Bennett mention the idea that it's its own thing, unlike anything else. I'm very much under the impression that this is really going to be a completely different formula,
Oh
especially
yeah.
considering I think this is only going to be a one-off season. So very much
Mhm.
how like Simon Bennett had the focus for Dino Fury to write it in like just a 22 episode. I feel like that's probably the same mentality. Maybe not 22 episodes. I really don't know how many episodes we're going to get for Cosmic Fury, but I think
I think I'm expecting 22.
a full
Definitely
season.
expect
Okay.
at least 20. Yeah, or this definitely going to be a full season
But
for sure.
I am hoping that because it is its own thing, um, one, I'm really hoping that the storyline is contained in itself, but that it also changes up some Power Ranger formulas that we're so used to. You know, like for me, I don't know if they would go the whole villain and Zord fight every episode, or if that's something that maybe Simon, now that he's on Netflix, has that creative freedom to maybe spread out the storylines a little bit more, especially if it's only a focus on one season. I got to think that it kind of puts your blinders on to really focus on the story itself instead of a lot of filler. But what are you thinking?
I will say take that Nickelodeon Power Ranger Bible and burn it.
Oh,
Burn it up. I will say he's definitely given the freedom to do what he want to do with this season, and I think he's gonna let loose and go crazy.
I think so too,
Mind
man.
you, he was able to like do something really unique with those like restraints he had, and with the Disney and not Disney, the Nickelodeon rules he had to deal with, and yet still come out with a great season. So just imagine what he can do without it. I'm thinking RPM Part Two. Definitely, I'm thinking this might be an RPM type of season where it's like, as of right now, obviously, it's set as the finale. You know what I'm saying? Go crazy, do what you want. The show's over anyways, and I think we're gonna kind of see that.
I really do hope so, man. I really do. Because one of the things that I feel I've appreciated about Simon Bennett is that he's not afraid to change things that he thinks will help make
Yeah,
the show better. you know. And I think coming from his background also, I don't think he's got a problem in shaking it up. I mean, goodness, Dino Fury has given us a ton of firsts. The fact that we're not
He's in the
getting,
first.
we haven't really gotten like a part two of anything, but I feel like when I watch Dino Fury, he always is leading into the next episode in some way. It doesn't feel like he ends every episode in like a night's neat package. I always feel like in some episodes there should be a to be continued, just because I think the momentum of the writing and the way that they've wanted to pace the series is kind of built that way, of really building that momentum up into a finale. And I feel like that's vastly different from what we've gotten from past Nickelodeon shows. And so when I see what he's doing in Dino Fury, I'm just thinking to myself, especially more original Zord battles that we've seen in Dino Fury, and just really taking that next leap. I just got to think Simon Bennett's got even more up his sleeve that he really wants to change from the previous formulaic Power Rangers that we've seen for so many years.
That's what honestly gets me the most hype for Cosmic Fury. I just think the whole possibility of going full original is endless. You know what I'm saying? Like you can literally do whatever you want, and just knowing that just gets me so excited. I'm like, this I can finally like watch a Power Ranger season, at least in my time, that we can end up getting like how RPM was, how maybe SPD was, you know, how Dino Thunder was. Like getting a season like that nowadays, like maybe a year ago, kind of seemed impossible, but I don't think so anymore. I don't
Yeah,
think so anymore.
I totally agree with you. Let's see here. What else we got? Jordan. Let me see. Pull this up here. This is from good old Jordan, your boy Roxy. Roxy's boy says, you mentioned that Cosmic Fury was in development since May of last year. So this very much is not a case of last minute put together. He says,
Yeah.
how could you write a season without having 100% guarantee that the whole Ranger cast would return? In fact, what would have happened if 2/3 of them wouldn't return? Would the season still happen? And Simon Bennett says, we had confirmation that the cast would return. So the cast clearly knew that there certainly was an opportunity, and I think that they've talked
Yeah.
about that recently. But I think it surprises me, and maybe some of the viewers out there, that they did have this story kind of in place since last May. And I'm trying to think of what happened around May of last year. Like, were we still in Dino Fury? Was that Dino Fury season 1 that we were still in
May
last
of
May?
last year, I want to say everything was wrapped filming and everything, because they kind of like rushed, like not rushed, but they kind of like did both seasons at once.
Mhm.
So I think they were filming from maybe September to January,
And
I
I gotta
want to
assume they
say,
knew the
or
Netflix.
February.
They already had made the announcement for the Netflix deal, I think, by that time also.
Yeah, so I think after everything was already done, they kind of just thought to themselves, like, there's no way we're like recasting or, you know, doing this all over again. They probably thought this is it. So let's bring them back for a third time. You know, I
Yeah.
think that kind of where that kind of sets in. But I think everything was pretty much done for Dino Fury, I want to say. I think they were probably still maybe doing VFX work for like season two. But
And that
at
and
that
that
time, I think everything was good.
And for me, I think that gets me excited knowing that this is going to be a fully fledged, well thought out season, and not sort of like
Yeah.
last minute, oh, we can't make this work and we can't make this work. So let's just try and put together a season real quickly. This feels like it's going to be a very well thought out season.
Honestly, and that's like one of the things when it comes to scoopers, because one of the things where this year felt so weird is we were all confused on what's happening. Like we wanted to like understand what was going on. Like normally, people knew early. It was going to be Ryu Soldier. It was going to be Dino Fury. That's that. It was going to be Go Busters. It was going to be Beast Morphers. That's that. But this year, we were like, why don't we know what's happening? Like, what is going on? And we're so confused. And now it makes sense because it's completely original. There's no way we could know what's happening. So,
And I guess the other question I would have for you would be, when your sources do give you this information, it kind of almost sounds like they give you a little bit of a tease with like no real context behind it. Would you see that's pretty accurate?
a lot of times, yeah. I don't know. We have a
It's like
weird
they don't want to get in
relationship.
trouble either,
Like,
right? So there's limited to what they can tell you.
yeah, so sometimes like it's like, okay, here it is. Boom, this is what's happening. And then other times it's kind of like I'm not too sure, but I'm hearing this with a sprinkle of this, and I'm just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes I just take what from what it is, and sometimes I do get the full thing, but I can't say anything, so I try to like sprinkle out tweets. I mean, that's pretty much what it is a lot of times. Like a lot of
Hmm.
times, I get told what's happening, but I can't say nothing. But
Hmm.
I kind of still want to tell you guys, so that time, that way, I'm not go out and like make detective tweets or like little tidbits, this and that. And I try to like, give you something without telling you what it is.
uh,
Um, so a lot of times end up being that, but then sometimes, yeah, they do, tease me with information and don't fully tell me what it is.
I get you. And the only reason why I ask these questions is because I do think it is important for some of the viewers to kind of understand maybe
No, yeah,
the
definitely.
behind the scenes a little bit of how it works.
And
Because
it's fun, okay? It's fun doing that. It's fun trolling and giving little pieces here and there and then making you figure it out for yourself. And it's fun to not even tell you, just give you a hint. And then when it gets revealed later, go back to that tweet and be like,
yeah, it's like I tried to warn you guys, right? Yeah. And we got one more tweet here from Simon Bennett here. Let's go ahead and pull this up here. This one was from Shay asking, what can we expect from Power Ranger Cosmic Fury? Will it use suits from Kara Major or just the same suits from Dino Fury? Good old Simon, of course, leaving us in speculation. You will have to wait to find out. Look, man, like I said before, I don't really I'm cool with whatever direction Hasbro certainly wants to go. But if you were to ask me, like, what is it that I truly, truly want? All original suits, all original footage. I feel like Dino Fury and Simon Bennett and them have been like teasing us about doing that because I feel like every episode of Dino Fury I watch, it's less and less footage being sort of adapted to the point to where it's like we rather put our Zord in a weird dimension and create a whole nother battle instead of actually utilizing Super Sentai footage. So when they kind of make that type of effort, it feels like they're putting on training wheels or at least really testing their limits as to what they can do if they ever were to get to the point of doing all original here. And so while I appreciate Simon Bennett clearly not giving any details away here and just letting our speculation run, there is a part of me, Jin, that I really just want original suits and original footage and to really break away from the Power Ranger formula that we have for such a long time. And I think Netflix is like literally the perfect opportunity to do it. Like you said, this is their last hurrah. So why not go
yeah.
for it? You might as well.
And you got to tease it that in Dino Fury season 2. We actually had a Zord fight in space. We actually had a Zord fight in the little cyber dimension. Like, if you're doing
Yeah.
that and you're going to do a whole season next year in space, then what you need Sentai
Yeah, you
footage
don't need
for?
Sentai, but just
Film it
have a
in
floating
space. Oh,
sword. Yeah.
do you think? Yeah.
And I
Throw a
guess
planet at someone. Go crazy.
And I think the idea too of finding out that they worked on this or knew that this was happening all the way back in May definitely makes me think, wow, they do have the time to create something original if they wanted to. Whereas I think beforehand, for me, like literally last week, I was thinking, man, they must have maybe rushed this decision, or this is a season that's kind of being rushed. So if that is the case, maybe you would then fall back on, say, Super Sentai footage. But if you knew about this since more than a year ago, I got to think that maybe things are being put in place to really do something original, or at least it would give them the time to do that if that's the direction they wanted to go. So we'll see, man.
Definitely, I agree. I agree for sure.
We'll see, man. We'll see how it turns out. Let's see here. What else can we talk about? You know what? I do want to pick your brain a little bit more,
Yeah.
Jinsaku, but not just me. I want to do some live viewer questions with you. Is that
The
okay?
chat.
Yeah. Well, and if anything, I do have some live viewer questions from people that submitted some questions over from Hero Report this past weekend. We weren't able to get
Okay.
everybody's question in, and since I knew I was going to have you on Monday, I was like, let me save some Power Ranger questions for Jin. So this is from Adam Perea in Cosmic Fury. He says, "What's up, twin? This was a huge topic at Power Morphicon. Anyways, how awesome is it that the cast for the 30th anniversary is our very own Dino Fury cast? And if the second half of Dino Fury season 2 ends off with or without a cliffhanger, I personally would not mind if Dino Fury wraps up everything without a cliffhanger, just so its own story can conclude, and then Cosmic Fury itself gives us the previously on Power Rangers, similar to what Zeo in Space did, but without an actual cliffhanger from Dino Fury. Do you think we're gonna get that? And just talk a little bit about your thoughts on Dino Fury cast returning."
You sure that's not you? Adam Perea sounds
Yeah,
like
I
a
know, I know. Tell me, man.
cover up.
I think some people just like trolling me with some of these names they come up
Look,
with,
Adam,
bro.
all you had to do was just ask me, man. But no, yeah, I mean, me being selfish, I kind of wanted the Dino Fury cast back. Like the whole time leading, like before I even knew they were coming back, the whole time leading up to it, I was thinking to myself, like, this is a cast I would genuinely be sad for. Like once the season ends, like sometimes I'm like, well, let's see who's next. You know what I'm saying? But this time around, I really connected with this cast, and I'm like, you know what? It'll be hard to see him go, like, and it'll probably be hard to top him, in my opinion. Like this is probably, I would say, one of my favorite casts of all time. So hearing those coming back, I was ecstatic. I was excited. I'm like, you know what? This is how I win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Besides
no,
them and Kara Jesus, right? But besides from that though, yeah, I was excited. And back to the whole cliffhanger thing, it do end on a cliffhanger, but I would say it's not much of a cliffhanger that says, okay, we're coming back for Cosmic Fury. I think it's more of a Beast Morpher cliffhanger,
I
you
get you.
know. But yeah, I'm excited for the cast.
Yeah, me
Definitely.
too, man. I've always said I really wanted to. For me, I was really open to the idea of even the Beast Morphers cast, maybe even coming back. But since that didn't happen, I absolutely fell in love with this Dino Fury cast, and so I'm super thrilled that they're getting that opportunity. It seems extremely well deserved. And for me, I mentioned this on one of my tweets. Like it kind of takes me back to my childhood a little bit. You know, like I grew up in the MMPR era where I literally watched this cast grow from not only their years on MMPR, but then power ups and things like that. And there was always that attachment that I had with the cast because of that. And so for them to kind of go back, especially for the final season, it just screams my childhood to me. And it just kind of brings me back to if there's any team that's certainly very deserving, it's definitely this one. So I'm pumped for it also.
Honestly, I think everyone agrees. So I think this is like one of the few casts where everyone is on board, where they're like, whether you like the season or not, you love the cast. And I
Absolutely.
think this is everyone's pretty much okay with it for the most part.
Jericho wants to talk a little bit about Trini or good old
Jericho.
Tui Trang that wind up leaving. It says today, September 3rd, when he submitted this, says being the heartbreaking death anniversary of Tui as Trini from Mighty Morphin. What were some of your favorite episode moments from MMPR with Trini?
Honestly, I forgot which episode it was, but it was the episode where Trini had like that puppet that came to life, or like that doll that came to life.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
it was like probably one of the few moments for me because honestly, I had to go back and rewatch Mighty Morphin because I pretty much forgot everything that happened, and like seeing like a ranger inside their house, you know, in their room, in bed, it was weird. It kind of took me back. I'm like, wait,
Hmm.
Power Rangers actually have a life to go back to. You know what I'm saying? They're not always like fighting battles.
Yeah,
So
we
like
forget that
seeing
sometimes.
her in her actual home environment was kind of like, whoa, this is kind of trippy and cool at the same time. I
Yeah,
need more of
it was trippy for
that.
me even seeing characters like Billy working in his garage from time to time, you know?
Yeah, it's like, wait, you have a life?
You
Like,
have a
what is this?
house? You go back someplace?
You don't sleep in the command center? It's crazy.
Let's see here. Carter Matthews. This clearly has been a
Carter.
topic. This clearly has been a topic since last week, but how would you guys speculate or theorize how the Dino Fury Rangers transition to Cosmic Fury? Um Man, that's I'm intrigued. I guess for me, my transition would be either, and I guess this would depend on what season they adapt, if anything. I've always thought the idea of one ranger coming to the Dino Fury cast asking for their help, whether that's David Yost that comes back as Billy and he needs a Power Ranger team to assist him out in the stars, and he recruits the team to go out and do that. I think that would be pretty cool. Or even a Power Ranger team that might be already established in space coming in and maybe recruiting the Dino Fury Rangers into either their team or creating them into new power ups and things like that. That's kind of a transition that I personally would like to see, but I don't know how they're going to pull it off yet.
Honestly, I had this whole thing thought out where a meteorite strikes, lands on Earth, and then like you see these like six crystals, you know, and then the Rangers walk up to them, and it's like cure made crystals. Not, I'm joking, but
You
I think the whole thing will probably all boils down to probably the Morphin Masters, if anything. Like
again, right?
you
Yeah, they've
gotta
been
you
pretty
gotta bring them
important.
back, utilize them. You know, they're a big part of the Power Rangers story, and then we've been revealed that they made so much past Rangers when it comes to Dino Thunder with the Dino Gems, the Inner Gem. So, I mean, they're probably cooking something up right now as we speak.
Yeah, they definitely have been very heavy-handed in the creation of Power Rangers over the years. Do you remember they revealed or like there were like teases of the morphing sequence? I think it was I can't remember if the Power Scoop revealed that or if it was Mega Power Brazil. Did you ever see like the artwork or the concept art very briefly of the morphing sequence?
I like dragons.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me too. Me too. One of the things that I was looking in the photo, and it immediately reminded me of you, Jin. Well, it looks like somebody literally had a crystal in their hand, and they were like slamming it on the ground, similar to how they do in Dino Fury. And this is I don't know if this is me being Sleuth Perez here, being Mr. Detective Perez myself, but I was definitely trying to zoom in on like this concept art, trying to figure out what was going on. But I would love it to be that, man. I would love it to be that.
It definitely gave me like a lot of Care Major vibes in
Definitely.
Dino Fury, and that's when I was kind of like, "Come on, you're just messing with me at this point.
At
You're
this point.
obviously just messing with me at this point." But no, yeah,
He said, "I like
kind of
dragons."
cool. It's kind of cool. I do like dragons. Dragons are pretty dope. Yeah, dragons are cool. If you guys like dragons, then that's what's up.
Next question we got from John Schuyler. He says, I'm so hyped for not only the second half of Dino Fury, but also Cosmic Fury. I did not expect the cast to come back for the 30th anniversary itself. This really is the first time since MMPR where we have a current cast return for the next season. If we potentially get a new Ranger colors for our existing Dino Furies, who would you like to see have a new Ranger color? Even perhaps a female Red
Mm.
Ranger with Izzy or Amelia? So I guess trying to figure out
I
colors
will
for the new team.
clarify though, this is actually the first cast to have 3 seasons because Mighty Morphin had the cast swap halfway through season
That's
two.
true. Everybody's intact
So
here. Absolutely.
yeah, but I will say, yeah, I do want to see some color change. I want to see like get rid of black, let
Yeah.
Chance, rock purple next year. You know what I'm saying? Let Ion go to yellow. You know what I'm saying? Like I think you should get funky with it. You're making your own suits. You're going original. Why tie yourself down to the same, colors we've been having? Why not just go completely crazy? Give Izzy red. Why not? You know what I'm
That'd be
saying?
pretty
You
cool.
might not even need a Green Ranger. Give Izzy red and then throw another color in there for someone else. So
Yeah, I was
I don't know.
thinking
I
for
think it'll be
like
cool.
I was thinking for Kara Major for some reason. I would love to see Zato as a Silver Ranger. I always thought that would be pretty cool. Maybe bump
Okay.
Izzy or Amelia to red since Izzy don't like skirts, so that might work for her.
I want to see
Who's
Zayto in white. I think that would be kind of cool.
oh, that would
I
be pretty
doubt. I
cool.
don't think we'll ever get Zayto as a White Ranger, obviously, but it would be cool to see Zayto wear white, even if it's just for one episode.
Just for one episode. Yeah, it would be pretty cool.
Uh,
I'm really interested to see what the color scheme's going to be. We got Abase Naza coming through. He says, "Hey guys, I'm so ready for Power Ranger Cosmic Fury right after the final half of Dino Fury. I've never been this excited for Power Rangers, well, since Dino Fury itself. My question is, what do you think of some fans confused or don't understand what's going on? I read online that some of them were very hesitant and think that Dino Fury getting the third season as Cosmic Fury is another super mega force situation. Though unlike before, Cosmic Fury
hmm.
wasn't originally planned as the third season of Dino Fury. Correct me if I'm wrong."
So he hasn't been excited for Power Rangers since the last season.
Yeah, Dino Fury, I'm assuming got a ton of people excited for the franchise again.
But no, yeah. What was the question? If it's
He says my question is, what do you think of some fans confused or don't necessarily understand what's going on? And he clarifies it. He says, I read online that some of them are very hesitant and think that Dino Fury getting a third season as Cosmic Fury is just another super mega force
Super Mega
situation.
Force, right?
He says, though, unlike before, Cosmic Fury wasn't originally planned as the third season of Dino Fury, but correct me if I'm wrong. Was it all?
Well,
You think it
which
was
I guess
already
we kind of learned that Cosmic
uh,
Fury was the original plan
was
for
the
it,
original plan?
and on top of that. I would say it's a different ball game now. Now that you're not on Nickelodeon and you're dealing with Netflix, and you probably got a little more freedom. It's the last season, more is at stake. I think that's a lot different than Mega Force situation where, and it wasn't even Simon Bennett who made Mega Force. It was somebody else. So I think with someone else in charge and someone with different rules than the other guy had to deal with, I think it'll be a complete opposite situation. I think if anything, we'll probably compare it more to either, like I said, RPM or in space or his
Let's
own thing. It might be something we've never seen before.
let's see here. We got a couple more questions left, like three more questions here. And then if you want to jump to the live chat, we can. Good old Morgan Hutchinson. What's up, Morgan? She says, "What are some of your wholesome moments in Power Rangers? You got any wholesome moments in Power Rangers?" I've always been a big fan of Trini and Billy's relationship for some reason. I was always thought that those were some pretty good moments between them. But do you have any wholesome moments in general from Power Rangers?
Not gonna lie, when I rewatched Time Force the other day, I was like watching the finale. I cried.
You cried a
Not
little
gonna
bit.
lie. Like the whole sequence of like the team going back to the future and leaving West behind, and then like the team like getting all emotional. I was like, "Don't
Heartbreaking.
forget us, West." Like, blah blah blah. It was kind of sad, and then like was able to come back, and it was nice. It was pretty good. Eric and West, putting their differences aside. I thought that whole like 3-part finale was amazing.
Yeah, it really was. I totally agree. Good old Jackson Peterson. What did you guys think of the awesome and shocking announcement at Power Morphicon that the full cast of Dino Fury was returning? And if, let's say, we get another Super Sentai adaptation and it is Q Ranger, which has 9 members, how do you think it would work in limited amount of episodes, if that's still the case? And could we get 3 new Rangers? Right now, so many speculation. So yeah, I don't think it's the limited episodes any longer. I definitely do think that this is, like
A
you
full
mentioned, maybe
season.
a full season,
Yeah.
because I do believe they are expanding out the time for filming for them. And they, mind you, they mentioned 2023. I don't necessarily know if we get this season in March or April. Do you think that maybe it's like a summer reveal, or maybe is as crazy as it sounds, like a next fall reveal for the season to drop
Um, as of right now, there's like nothing to believe that we won't get it in March,
in
only
March?
because
Okay.
Dino Fury season 2 pretty much aired in March, and then
Hmm.
filming seems to be on time, they're filming in September like they normally do. So I think as of right now, I think everything's lining up.
The way it
If the
should.
only reason for a delay would just be, Netflix themselves or Hasbro deciding to delay it, but everything is on track right now. So I personally think we might still see it in March, but could be
I
wrong.
gotcha. I gotcha.
Could be wrong.
So yeah, if it is Cure Ranger, which has 9 members, how do you think it would work?
Honestly, just probably bring a bunch of OGs back.
Yeah,
Probably get some Beast Morphin Rangers in there, some Diamond Charge Rangers, maybe some Disney Rangers, some early Saban Rangers. You might see TJ come back. Probably not JDF, unless it's Eric Reed. But but yeah, you might see David Yost or whatever. I don't know. I think Q Ranger would be a perfect season to bring a lot of retro people back and
I
like have
agree.
them suit up again.
And
One last time.
it would really eliminate the idea of having to spend time on building up new characters too. I mean, maybe you could do
Definitely.
a quick catch up of like, hey, what have you guys been up to? What's your life like now, sort of situation. But I do think it would open up the doors for just being able to, again, to still focus on your storytelling and having some of the classic Rangers certainly come back. So we'll see how that turns
Definitely.
out. And then last question from Alexander here.
Alexander.
Do you agree or disagree that some of the Power Ranger fans on social media are very negative when it comes to Hasbro? Like always jumping to conclusions that they don't care about the franchise. I feel like I hear that a lot, actually. Like not making any announcement when it comes to Jonathan Entwistle's reimagined universe. They seem to not understand the meaning of surprises and patience. Those same people crap on Hasbro when it comes to Dino Fury. Instead, should at least be grateful for what they have been given us. Sorry for this comment.
Honestly, I think as a fan who really cares about the brand, I think it's valid to be worried at all times. It's something you care about, you're passionate about it.
Right.
But I do think we're just at a weird spot where Hasbro kind of had like this whole universe planned out. They wanted to do it, and it was so they kind of wanted to make it Hasbro's Power Rangers. They kind of wanted to make it their own thing rather than, kind of carry over something that Saban built. And I think the plan was to have that a lot sooner. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, there's things like contracts like Nickelodeon, and there's other things you got to deal with. And then COVID happened. There was like a lot of stuff. And then other people who were supposed to work on a reboot got busy with other things, and a lot of stuff happened. And now you're kind of still dealing with the current show. And I think it's kind of at the point where we just had like a what's the word I'm looking for? A setback after setback, right?
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
think they're kind of just like people are thinking this is the final plan for the brand, and I think there's more plan. They're just like saving it. You know what I'm saying? Like I think eventually Power Rangers will become like a new thing, whereas Hasbro made and it's like all Hasbro. But I think as of right now, we're kind of at this like weird extended transition phase. Like I know normally we only had it once where we had it for Wild Force, right? Or we had it for
Was that
Beast
RPMs?
Morphers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, RPM. And I think now we're kind of seeing that get extended for like 4 seasons or so.
Yeah.
Probably from Beast Morphers to Cosmic Phase, right? So
Yeah.
so I think once the reboot kicks off, we're gonna really see like Hasbro true attentions.
Yeah, I do think it does have a lot to do with just patience.
Yeah.
This is definitely not the same way that Power Rangers has been handled before. Now that
And we
there's
had a
new
CEO
management.
shift. The
Yeah,
last guy
exactly.
passed away, so there's that.
Exactly. So there's a ton of sort of moving pieces behind the scenes, but just because we're not hearing about it doesn't mean that they're not working on something, right? It just means that they're just not ready to announce it
Yeah.
for us. And I think when you
Which
invest
is crazy though, because they did announce it. Like they announced they're doing this reboot. They announced it's
right.
gonna be a TV, a movie, animation, because they planned on having it out sooner. So they jumped the gun. I think on Hasbro behalf, they kind of jumped the gun when they announced it, where they should have waited. But I think now we're kind of just stuck with the news for 4 years because now that we know about it, and I think has in a way Hasbro shot themselves in the foot, revealing it a bit too early. But I think things happen, so now we kind of have to like deal with it. Now, if the reboot comes out and we see nothing, then yeah, get your pitchforks out, do your thing. But as of right now, I'll say relax. I think we're cruising. We're good.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate you going through some of
Of
those live
course.
viewer questions for me. Jen, Emmanuel does ask, Jinsako, do you have a Lightning Collection figure or figures you want from Hasbro? Do you collect Lightning Collection figures?
Yeah, I actually got a good amount. I don't want to like mess up my stand here, but like I kind of have I have a good collection here. Here's one, right?
Oh, nice.
But
You got the Shredder
oh
Green
yeah,
Ranger
I have
combo.
a
Oh, that's so
whole wall of them. I'm
amazing.
actually being really ghetto right now. This phone is sitting on all my Lightning collection figures. But yeah,
That's a
the one I'm
great,
most
great
hyped for is
figure.
the one with my face on it. Obviously, I need that one.
Oh, you waiting for
Once
that one?
Hasbro released that, what I'm saying,
The
I'm hoping they don't
Jinsako
mess his
figure?
face up. But
They might mess up your
yeah,
hair. Your head sculpt might come out kind of weird, bro.
yeah, my hair is gonna be like, it's gonna be crazy. They might just do a Devon head and make it light skin. Who knows? Dealing with Hasbro, but I don't know. That's kind of the figure I'm most hyped for. But with that aside, I think I really want. I don't know. All my favorites kind of already came out. Like I'm very selective when it comes to Lightning Collection. Like I don't buy all of them. Like I got Jack from SPD. I got Zach from Mighty Morphin. I got Time Force Red. I got who else I got? I got a lot of people. I got all the Ninja Turtle ones. I
Yeah, I
got
love the design.
oh, I'm hyped for Street Fighter. I think those look pretty dope.
Yeah, those are pretty
Those
cool.
are I'm a
I
big fan of Power Rangers doing crossovers with other brands. So I
yeah, I
support
think
that.
they look pretty badass. I actually reached out to was it Loretta Masters, congratulating her on her work. Says I was asking, I was like, aren't you gonna be like presenting it or like talking about it at all? Because they hadn't had her on like the fan first in quite some time. But I think just recently she popped up in the last one to kind of talk about the Chun Li
He
one, if
did
I'm
the
not
Red
mistaken.
Sanitarian, right? If
The
I
what?
remember correctly.
The which one?
That's a figure she showed off.
It might have been that one, or maybe I'm thinking the Chun Li one. I could be wrong, or
Hmm.
maybe she showed off both of the Street Fighter combinations one. But believe it or not, I'm trying to reach out to her because I'm trying to get her to. I'm trying to see if she does commission work because I know she's a graphics designer and I've seen some of her
Yeah.
artwork. I'm actually trying to see if I can reach out to her to maybe like do a new logo design for my channel and maybe even interview her. So
Okay. Yeah.
keep my fingers
Definitely.
crossed. Keep my fingers crossed, man. Shout out to Deoxy 360 for certainly
What
coming
up,
through.
Deoxy?
Good to see you. Did he go to Power Morphicon? Do you know?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I've seen him.
Is there any content creators that you talk to that you? Well, I'm sure this is probably the first time you got the opportunity to meet a lot of people. But was there anybody that
Yeah.
you were like starstruck by, even yourself? Is anybody like that?
Honestly, my homies, like, I don't know, like, these are people you talk to every day, but the biggest fear is what if they're like not, the people that you've been talking to all this time. But I think pretty much when I met everyone, we all like sat down and then we looked at each other, we're like, yo, this is like surreal. Like, this is like weird. Like that, this is like a multiverse moment. Like, it kind of felt like where Peter 1, Peter 2 met Peter 3 in No Way Home, and then we're all just like,
All
wait,
pointing
are
at
we
each other
here?
like.
Yeah, like pointing at each other. Yeah, it was so weird. So I think seeing them, because it's weird. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, I still don't believe it's real. Like, I feel like it was a fever dream. But meeting, like, not even just them, but like content creators in general, like meeting people, from the Luminary, meeting Josh, meeting, a lot of content creators out there. You're just seeing them and you're like, whoa, like, this is like real. Like, you're not just an icon. You know what I'm saying? It's not just Twitter space. This is actually in person interacting. So
That's so
yeah,
cool, man.
I was pretty much starstruck with pretty much everyone I recognized from Twitter.
That's so
Realistically,
cool, man. I really wanted to try and attend this year, but if not, if they don't
yeah.
have one next year, hopefully the next year after that, because there's so many people I want to connect up with and finally get the opportunity to meet. And if I'm anytime out in New York, Jen, I'll definitely let you know,
Let me
so
know.
we can
We
go
go to
hang out
Wingstop.
sometime. Most definitely.
Wingstop, that's the
That
place.
lemon pepper, baby. We got Campbell Cooley in the house too. Thank you very much, Campbell, for
Campbell, what
certainly
up, man?
coming through, man. Yeah, actually grew up in New York for quite some time. I grew up in the Bronx. We actually lived off of
What?
East 138th Street between, was it Cypress Avenue and St. Anne's Avenue, I believe. So
Okay.
that's where I grew up at. And then we wind up moving to Brooklyn when I was about 5 or 6. And I lived out in there until I was about 10 years old before I moved to Jersey. So native New Yorker too, man.
Trader, but yeah,
Hey,
I'll
wasn't
let
my
it slide
choice.
though.
Wasn't my
I'll let
choice,
it
man.
slide.
But awesome, Jen. Hey, man. First and foremost, thank you for certainly coming on. It's been great
Of
to kind of
course.
pick your brain and talk some Power Rangers. And hopefully this isn't the last time, man. Hopefully I can have you back.
Look, we friends, man. If y'all don't know, me and Adam go like way back. Back when I mentioned actually, like when I first started doing Twitter, I really didn't have like a lot of friends on it. Like I didn't know a lot of people. Adam was probably one of the first people I met, I want to say.
Oh, that's so
Our
cool, man.
little Tank for Toku group.
Yeah,
Like
you guys kicked
you're
off
one of
a
the first people I met. Yeah,
podcast YouTube.
definitely. Look at us now.
I know, man, just blowing up. It's
Crazy.
good. Well, listen, congratulations to your opportunity, man. That's I'm sure that
Thank
was
you.
a blast to do the Time Force panel and stuff. And
Definitely.
good luck to the future. Hopefully, people don't look at you too much as a fraud going forward. But
Hey, look, I kept the name. I love it. Frost
yeah,
Saku.
yeah,
Love it.
you gotta grab it, right? Make it your own from time to time. So I totally get it. But thank you so much for just breaking things down,
Thank you, man.
hopefully explaining things to our viewers and stuff a lot better. So if anything, we'll definitely have you around next time, Jinsaku. But if people want to reach out to you on social media, where can they find you, bro?
You can find me on Twitter at Jinsaku. Yeah, my name's right there. I don't know if you can see it,
Yeah,
but it's just Jinsaku. I'm pretty much Jinsaku everywhere.
awesome,
Anyway,
guys. And if you want to follow us on social media, you can do so right here at the bottom at A Plus Opinions. Very active over on Twitter, Instagram, and our main Facebook page, guys. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and that like button. It really does go a long way. And other than that, I think that'll wrap it up for us. So until next time, do us a big favor as always, guys. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A plus. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
nice. Bye.